Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's topic is bioremediation. Definition: it is defined as any process that uses microorganisms or their enzymes, that is, the enzymes secreted by microorganisms, to return the environment that is altered by the contaminants, or we can say pollutants, to its original condition. So basically, bioremediation is a process that involves the use of microorganisms through which pollutants are converted into non-pollutants, or we can say into less toxic form. So this is basically a diagram representing the pollutants, that is, they are of organic nature, that is whether they are present in the form of solid, liquid or gas phase, and also they are inorganic in nature. Then they are present in environment, that is in soil, in water and air, and in this environment microorganisms are also present, plants are present, and the enzymes are also there. So with the help of these pollutants are converted into less pollutant form. So the basic principle behind the bioremediation is, in this, the contaminant compounds are transformed by living organisms through the reactions that take place as a part of their metabolic processes. That is, basically microorganisms convert these contaminants into less toxic form through the processes that occur as a part of their daily activities. That is, they do not use any special mechanism to transform these pollutants. Basically, they are part of their daily lives. So for bioremediation to be effective, microorganisms must enzymatically attack the pollutants. That is, with the help of enzyme, they should have to attack the pollutants and convert them to harmless products. So main objective is this. Or the another definition is, bioremediation is the use of living microorganisms to degrade the environmental pollutants or to prevent the pollution itself. So it is a technology for removing the pollutants from the environment, restoring the contaminated sites, that are contaminated from the pollutants, and preventing the future pollution also. So the basis of bioremediation is the enormous natural capacity of the microorganisms to degrade the organic compounds. So basically, a microorganism possesses the natural capacity to degrade these compounds, so that it is utilized in the process of bioremediation. So this capacity could also be improved by applying the GMMs, that is genetically modified microorganisms. So basically, a natural property they possess, but they also can be modified by using the genetically engineered mechanisms. So in Japan, academic, industrial and governmental research is tightly coordinated for the global application of environmental biotechnology. That is, their main focus is towards the environmental biotechnology, that is how biotechnology is utilized in case of environment or to prevent the environment. Then, using the information from the fundamental research, bioremediation technology has been used to improve environmentally hazardous chemicals that are accumulated in their cells or detoxify them into the non-toxic form. So basically, this is done by microorganisms. So several members of algae, fungi and the bacteria are known to solubilize, transport and deposits the metal and detoxify the dyes and the complex chemicals. So the toxic waste materials remain in vapors, liquid and the solid phase, as we have seen earlier in the diagram. So therefore, bioremediation technology varies accordingly whether the waste material involved or the pollutant involved is in its natural setting or is removed and transported into a fermenter, that is the bioreactor. So basically, two steps are involved in case of bioremediation. First is in its natural habitat, and the another is that is artificially created, or we can say in the fermenter. So on the basis of the removal and the transportation of the waste for the treatment, basically there are two type of the bioremediation methods. First is the in situ bioremediation and the second is ex situ bioremediation. So first is in situ bioremediation. So in situ bioremediation is the cleanup approach, which directly involves the contact between the microorganisms and the dissolved and absorbed contaminants for the biotransformation, that is, for example, in case of a heavy metal or radionuclide, we can say, so there is a direct contact, physical contact between microorganisms and the heavy metal, so that will be converted, that is dissolved and absorbed and later got transformed by the microorganisms. So biotransformation in the surface environment is a very complex process. So basically, advantages of in situ bioremediation, that is why it is used. Firstly, this method include the minimal site for disruption, that is there are very low chances for the disruption of the process, that is the process will not get disturbed here, and the treatment of the contaminated soil is possible by this method, and the groundwater is also possible. Minimal exposure of the public and the site personnel, that is they are not affected by this treatment, and also low cost. But there are also disadvantages of in situ method, that is time consuming method as compared to the other bioremedial methods. And the another disadvantage is that seasonal variation of the microbial activity is observed here, that is here we use the microorganisms with their natural ability, that is to convert the pollutants into less toxic form. So they also vary according to the seasons, that is some microorganisms reside in a particular environment and the another one in the different environment. So that is the disadvantage. So the microorganisms act well only when the waste material help them to generate energy and the nutrients to build up more cell. As we know, some microorganisms require the waste, that is the energy that is generated from the waste is the basic building block for them. So this is the way. When the native microorganisms lack the biodegradation capacity, that is they are not able to degrade the material as such, then genetically engineered microorganisms may be added to the surface during the in situ bioremediation. So in situ bioremediation deals with both, that is natural as well as the genetically engineered microorganisms. So there are two types of in situ bioremediation. The first is intrinsic bioremediation and the second is engineered in situ bioremediation. So first is intrinsic in situ bioremediation. So, the conversion of environmental pollutants into the harmless forms, from the innate capabilities of the naturally occurring microbial populations is called the intrinsic bioremediation. That is, they possess that ability of biodegradation from their birth, or we can say genetically. However, there is increasing interest on the intrinsic bioremediation for the control of all or some of the contamination at the waste site also, that is they are also utilized there. The ability of the surface bacteria to degrade the mixture of a pollutant in the groundwater is dependent on the types and the concentration of the compound, that is what sort of compound or we can say pollutant is that, the electron acceptor, and the duration of the bacteria exposed to contaminant, that is we can say the lifetime or the we can say the duration by which the bacteria come into contact with that contaminant or the pollutant. Then second is the engineered in situ bioremediation. So intrinsic bioremediation is satisfactory at some places. As we know, it is a slow process due to poorly adapted microorganisms that is used there, limited ability of the electron acceptor and the nutrients that are provided during that process, cold temperature and the high concentration of contaminants. So then their intrinsic in situ bioremediation is not possible. So when site conditions are not suitable, bioremediation requires construction of engineered systems to supply the materials that stimulate the microorganism, that is that will increase the growth of microorganisms as well as their ability to degrade the pollutants or the contaminants. So engineered in situ bioremediation accelerates or increase the desired biodegradation reaction by increasing the growth of more microorganisms. That is, if there are more microorganisms, then there are more chances, or we can say more easily or fastly, the process of biodegradation will took place via optimizing the physico-chemical conditions, that is the environmental conditions like oxygen and electron acceptor and the nutrients nutrients promote the microbial growth in the surface. When contamination is deeper, amended water is also injected through wells, but in some, that is in situ bioremediation system, both the extraction and the injection well are used in combination to control the flow of the contaminated ground. So water combined with the above ground bioreactor treatment and subsequent re-injection of nutrients spike effluent are done. So this is shown in figure 1. So this is the diagram showing the surface treatment using the above groundwater reactor, that is injection of oxygen, acid, nutrients and the extraction from the wall. So that is here, that is nutrient infiltration took place, the treatment process example air stripping of bioreactor, that is the treatment for groundwater. Then here hydrocarbon contamination or hydrocarbon pollutants are present. Then oxygen and nutrient injection that are injected through these walls. Okay, and the extraction and injection, that is the pure material is extracted from here, addition of oxygen and nutrient from this site. So this will lead to enhanced growth of microbes and also increase in the process of biodegradation will took place. So this is a diagrammatic representation, or basically the chart that is showing the in situ and ex situ methods that are recent trends in the bioremediation, and also the various types also, that is in case of in situ bioventing, then the biostimulation, asparging, bioaugmentation, natural attenuation, phytoremediation, intrinsic and engineered, as we have studied earlier. And here in diagram also biostimulation, that is biosurfactants are added and the oxygen release compounds are added to treat the groundwater. Okay, nutrients are added, oxygen supply is provided, and also genetically engineered microbes can be added for further enhancement. And in case of ex situ, there are also various methods like land farming, composting, controlled solid phase treatment and the slurry phase biological treatment that is performed in bioreactors. So yeah, this is part 1 for the bioremediation, and we have covered till in situ bioremediation and only 2 types, that is intrinsic and engineered. So stay tuned for the next video in which we will be going to cover the ex situ methods and the remaining methods of in situ and the factors affecting bioremediation, etc. So yeah, if you like my video, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel.